Welcome to the lesson Interactions of Light. In this lesson, you will investigate why objects appear shiny, colorful, dark, see-through, or not. It all depends on how light interacts with matter. The vocabulary words for this lesson are absorption, opaque, reflection, refraction, scattering, transparent, and translucent. Click each word to find more about it. Have you ever wondered why you can see yourself in a mirror, but not in the pages of a book? What is it about a mirror that causes your image to appear? Light travels in straight lines, which is why it is also described as a ray. That's important to remember when you think about how light interacts with matter. Light can interact with matter in many ways. It can pass through matter, bounce off matter, or be taken in by matter. Click each picture to learn more. Absorption is the disappearance of a wave into a medium. Objects can absorb or take in light. We do not see the light that an object takes in. For instance, when light hits a black piece of paper, the black paper absorbs most of the light rays. Very little is reflected from the paper. Reflection is the bouncing back of a wave after it hits a barrier. Light bounces or reflects off of many objects. We see an object because it reflects light which reaches our eyes. Mirrors reflect light. We see an object because its reflected light reaches our eyes. Smooth surface, such as a mirror, reflects light in an way. Look at the angle of the incoming light and the angle of the reflected light. The angles are the same. When we look in a mirror, the reflection that we see is called an image. It appears to us that the image of the object is located somewhere behind the mirror. Scattering is the spreading out of rays in all directions as particles reflect and absorb light. Light scatters in all directions when it reflects off rough or matted surfaces. So many colors. How is it that we see all of them? Well, we can see only visible light. But get this, our eyes see only colors of light that an object reflects. Click the different colors to learn more. Red objects reflect only red light. They absorb all of the other colors in the visible spectrum. We see red because this is the color that reaches our eyes. Blue objects reflect only blue light. They absorb all other colors of the visible spectrum. Black objects do not reflect any colors. Black objects absorb all of the colors in the visible spectrum. No colors are reflected, so we only see black. White objects reflect all colors of light. Remember, white light is a mixture of all colors in the visible spectrum. Mixed colors reflect more than one color of light. If you see a mixture of colors, it is because the object reflects more than one color of light. We see a mixture of the reflected colors of light for most objects. Glass does not absorb visible light. Some objects absorb or reflect parts of the electromagnetic spectrum that we can't see. Take glass, for example. Glass does not absorb visible light, but it does absorb some ultraviolet light. What happens when light interacts with matter but is not reflected or absorbed? Light can pass right through a material, but the path that the light takes may change as it moves. Click an image to start. Refraction can make objects appear to bend. Refraction is the bending of a wave as it crosses the boundary between two types of material. For instance, light refracts when it passes from water into air. This is because it changes speed when it passes from one medium into another. Do these straws look bent to you? Objects that are partially underwater may appear bent, but that's just an illusion. It's really the light waves that are bent. Refraction happens because light slows down a bit when it moves from air into water. Different media can cause light to slow down or speed up. Look how shiny these diamonds are. Diamonds refract light even more than glass because light travels more slowly in diamonds than in glass. Colors with longer wavelengths, such as red, refract light less than colors with shorter wavelengths, such as violet. This is how prisms work. Prisms use refraction to separate white light into all the colors of the visible spectrum. Rainbows work the same way. Water drops in the atmosphere act like tiny prisms, separating the white light into a rainbow. Beautiful. In this picture, we can see objects that can be described as opaque, translucent, or transparent. Drag each label to the correct spot. An object is transparent if it allows all the light to pass through it so that you can clearly see things on the other side of the object. A translucent object only allows some light to pass through it. An opaque object completely blocks all of the light from passing through it. Great job! The window is transparent. We can see through glass because light passes right through it. We can describe the dress as translucent because it lets only some light pass through it so that things on the other side of the object appear blurry. This happens because light scatters inside translucent objects as it passes through them. The curtain, however, is opaque. It completely blocks all the light from passing through it. That's because it absorbs or completely reflects the light. Most objects, like wood and metal, are also opaque. Light interacts with matter in different ways. Can you match the type of interaction with the right image? Drag the labels to the correct images to show how light interacts with matter. Good job! Absorption of light happens when an object takes in all the light. Reflection of light happens when light bounces off an object. Refraction of light happens when light waves bend as they go from one material to another. Which statements about the skin of a ripe banana are true? Well done! A banana is an opaque object. The color of an opaque object is really the color or colors that it reflects. A yellow banana reflects yellow light and absorbs all other colors of visible light, including blue. The banana is not transparent, so none of the light is refracted. Mirages in the desert are caused when light changes speed as it passes from cooler air to hotter air. Choose the best answer to the question. Which of the following causes mirages? Good job! Light bends or refracts because it changes speed as it moves through the different materials. In the case of the mirage in the desert, different air temperatures cause refraction of light. You've learned a lot about the interactions of light. Before we finish, let's take a look at the main points you've covered. Light can be absorbed, reflected, or refracted when it interacts with matter. When reflected light scatters from a rough surface, we see the object, not a reflection. An object's color is the object that it reflects. The other colors of visible light are absorbed by the object. Light refracts when it passes from one material into another because of change in speed. Opaque, translucent, and transparent objects allow different amounts of light to pass through them. Now that you've finished this lesson, click the menu button to exit. Or if you wish, you can go back and review any part of the lesson again.